Hi guys, Aimee Wudel with RE Corridor, and I promised you at the end of last week that I would be visiting with Lee from Critter Evictors, and I'm really excited to have him today. So this is Lee Pitluk with Critter Evictors.
Hi everybody, welcome to our little show here that I didn't know was going to happen.
No, I'm really excited to have him here because there has been so much conversation going on the internet lately about rats. Every time I go into my community, neighborhood community website, there is something going on about people talking about the rats. So Lee, tell me a little bit, why are there so many rats right now? Is this normal? Or is it
It's
just
somewhat normal, and I would go back to the weekend of December 3rd or whatever that weekend was. There were like 4 days of rain. So all these animals, whether it's a mouse or a rat or a raccoon or a squirrel, Mother Nature drives a lot of what they're doing. And so that 4 days of rain scared the heck out of them, and they're just looking for shelter. So one of the misnomers of people going, I got rats in my house and I keep my house immaculate. That really doesn't matter. They're not looking to come into your house for food. They're just looking for shelter and warmth and dryness. Why there's more of a proliferation maybe this year than in the past, that I can't answer, except they populate themselves very quickly. Right. So they're worse than teenagers. But that's all they're doing. And so between that and then 2 weeks later there was a freezing day in there, and now this past weekend it was freezing again. They're just hunkering down for the winter and going in. And I would tell you the squirrels are doing the same thing. If it's not rats, you probably have squirrels in many of these attics out here.
Okay.
So.
I'm really glad that you brought up that about it not being food-based, because there are so many misnomers, about what it is that you need to look out for. And that was one of the things I thought. I was thinking I got to make sure that there's no food, none of my dog food outside or anything. So I guess we can touch on more of those things.
I thought I was getting a meal, and you put everything.
I've done everything.
So, you want to have the dog food on the back porch. Sometimes we have to kind of redirect people's behavior. Sure. You got to get the dog food out. You got to get it out of your garage. You got to put it in really a metal container, not a plastic container, because there's points where they'll just keep trying to go through that plastic container too. But in the meantime, if you get them out of your house, if the right company gets them out of your house completely, locks up the outside of your home to where they can't get back in, then you can go back to your normal behavior for both you and your animals and not have to worry about this again.
No, that sounds great. That's the point of today, is besides just educating people about what's going on with the critter population, also we have visited before about why it's so important to rid them. For obvious reasons, you don't want rodents or other critters around your house, just because, in my opinion, it's disgusting. But other than that, tell me how it affects. Tell me about the different things that can happen to your home.
Well, and I don't want to scare anybody, because it is 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million, whatever it is. Whether they chew through the electrical, whether they chew through the elements that are connected to your AC unit, whether they chew through water lines, and unfortunately that one, because I've done 1,100 of these, and probably 60 or 70 now are animals going through water lines. And once that starts, that's not going to stop until you get them out of the house.
Okay.
I've told people, please move out of your house, because they're just going to go to the next water line. If you leave your water on, they don't move out. I had one lady that went through 6 different water lines. That's 6 plumbers coming over.
Yeah.
And she believed me so much and was so mad at me at the time, but believed me so much finally in the end that we solved the problem for her. She's now recommended me to other people on her street just for the animal issues, but at the time, she's, it's kind of like those lightning bolts coming at you from her eyes. But it all worked out in the end. But there's just bad things can happen in the attic, and even worse things can happen. And I'm not going to, like I said, I don't want to scare people. In the meantime, I'll also say, though, when people hear scrambling in the attic and scratching in the attic and things like that, I will tell you they're not trying to come through your ceiling. They're actually chewing on the studs in your attic. They're actually grooming their teeth. So a mouse, a mouse, a squirrel, and a rat are all rodents. And their teeth grow like our nails grow. So they're grooming their teeth to keep them short enough so that they can function in the real world. So at least know that they're not trying to scratch their way into your bedroom at night while you're sleeping. They're just trying to keep their teeth short enough so they can function, things like that.
That is good to know, because it is extremely unsettling when you hear noises up there.
Yes, so they're not, in many cases, and again, we're back to that, it's 1 out of every 50 when the actual rats actually get into people's homes, and normally that's because either it's gone on too long and you have a colony up there, so there's not any room up there anymore, they're coming down here, or if you go on vacation for a week and there's no sound down here and they've been living up there a while, they go, well, let's keep exploring.
Oh my gosh, no.
But that's not the norm for them to actually come down into the home. The main thing is they're staying up there, they're going out to eat during the day, they come back whenever they get scared and or when nighttime is coming, and this is their safe haven to spend the night in.
Okay. That makes sense. Well, we're going to be heading outside because I want you to show everybody what some of those entry points are, or things that we need to look out for, things that your company would help with.
Right.
Okay, so let's head outside.
Okay. And so as we inspect the rest of the house and talk about what needs to be closed, let's also talk about the process for getting these animals out of your house, and especially with rats or mice, and obviously in this case rats. It's usually rats. We say mice because it sounds nicer, because Mighty Mouse, Mickey Mouse, there's no cute rat we grew up with. But in the meantime, what we're doing to get these animals out of your house is we're finding the primary opening, we're creating an exit for them, and then we're also though putting traps in your attic, and we're the ones responsible for checking those traps twice a week. It really moves very quickly. Really within 6 to 10 days, we're going to have your house cleared. We come back, close up that exit that we set up, and then you're off and running with your 15-month warranty. We urge people not to use poison. If you use poison and something dies in your wall, you're really going to be more disgusted than the noise you were hearing above your bedroom at night. There is a situation where if an animal, if these little animals eat poison and then somebody's pet eats that animal, something bad could happen to those pets. So poison's not a way to go. We use the traps, we use the one-way exit. We're trying to clear your attic as quickly as possible, and normally it just takes 6 to 10 days to get that done, and you're off and running. So that's how we do it after we have accepted the job and you've decided to hire us. So when we go to a person's home, these are free estimates that we're doing, and I'm usually the one doing the estimate. I'm the owner of the company. My goal is to find out how the animals might be getting in. And so people have already had an inclination that they've heard something in the attic, or they've seen droppings in the garage or something. My goal is to find out what kind of animal it is, but that's not the primary concern. The primary concern is how they're getting in. I will go into people's attics, I will try to figure out what it is, but the day I'm doing a free estimate is more the investigation of the outside of the home to ascertain what we need to close up. And as alluded to earlier in the conversation with Aimee, I'm closing everything. It may not be a current opening, but I'm doing current and preventive, which is why people love us so much and why we have such nice reviews, thank y'all, because we're taking care of everything now instead of this being a recurring problem as we go down the line. So in a house like this, the areas that we look for, where the two lines of the roof meet, there's a fascia board coming down, and there's this level right here. Underneath there, I call that a roof intersection. The animals go under there, they scratch their way through. It takes them a while to get through, but they go under those roof intersections, they get into the attic. Gable vents, you have one gable vent around your home. Many homes have 2 or 3 or 4 because they have them on the sides also. Again, what a company that closes the one opening and one gable vent should know better, because the animals are just going to go to the next gable vent to get back in within 2 months, if not 2 weeks. And then in a case like yours, I would have come to you and said, this is not something we do, but those boards need painting, because the paint can protect those boards and give them a longer life. We don't want the animal at some point in time, if you went on vacation for a couple of weeks and there's any wood like that at the very peak that's starting to rot a little bit, if you had that same situation in the backyard and the dogs have been in a kennel or something, the animals are going to work on that thing because nobody's around to stop and scare them. They're going to work and work and work, kind of like the old pounding the rock that the Spurs go through. They're going to work and work and work until they get in. Once they get through the fascia boards, they're in your attic. Let me show you one other place where that's even a more likely situation to happen quicker. This corner right here, where this little piece of wood is already exposed, that's something they can get their nails into and go through very quickly. So we can stand on that ledge right there, reach right down, just keep scratching away at it. Again, if you're on vacation for about a week and there's nobody to scare them, they can work at this full time and get in there pretty quickly. So in many cases, again, we don't want any animal to get inside the exterior of your home. In many cases, we check the bottoms of people's garage doors. We're not going to let them go. In your case, your 2 corners and everything is down flush. But many times the corners are cut off at a funny angle. We're going to block that off. We're going to investigate something like this. We're not going to do anything to it, but if we see something like this, we probably put a little bit of caulk in there. Again, we don't want anybody to get their claws into an edge of something. go around to the backyard real quick. So in addition, as we go around the exterior of your home, we're checking the framing around exterior doors, checking the framing around any corners where you have siding or any windows that are bay windows that end up being diagonal angles. We're checking all the framing under there. A little mouser rat can go right up that frame, go straight up into the wall, and then obviously up into your attic. We also, in many cases, the AC, where your coils are going into the house, sometimes this might be 4 inches in diameter, but the hole here might be 7 inches in diameter. And it's kind of just like a walkway right up into your attic. So, you know, almost like an escalator. But the first panel on your chimney at the roof line has been pulled down out of place. That's probably a squirrel or a raccoon that's trying to displace that piece of paneling. You see how it's a funny angle? You can see the top ridge, it's clean. See which one I'm talking about? So that just needs to be adjusted and screwed back in. Here's another one. And then in many cases, cable people are always, sometimes aren't as friendly as other times, and when they cut a hole into your soffit to put their cables through, sometimes create a bigger hole than necessary, and the animals can just walk right up that cord into the house. In this case, they didn't do that. They were a little bit more careful, but that's going to be a problem because the animals are going to start working at that. And if you look at the discoloration of that cable, right under your roof line, right under the soffit, that discoloration is from animals going back and forth trying to figure out if that's ever going to be an entrance for them, because that's oil off their fur that's causing that discoloration. So they're just walking right up. So your house is in great shape. I don't think we have a problem. Obviously, you haven't heard anything going into the attic. And really, in the end, the gable vent is the primary thing that, just as a precaution, you might want to do right now. But you're obviously going to have to address those fascia boards before they become a problem, which they aren't right now. And this is what we do. I mean, I just came from a call earlier today in another part of town where I told the guy he's going to do it himself because I'm not going to have him spend money with me when he only has to do one thing. And he was going in the right direction as a do-it-yourselfer. But I was happy to go by there to investigate because that's not something I can answer over the phone. I have to put an eyeball on a person's home to know what's going on before we can ascertain that. So, but this is what we do. In addition, we're at the wrong angle back here, but there's a lot of vents on people's roofs, especially the mushroom vents. And I call them flying nun vents. They're called jack vents. I like calling them the flying nun vent because I'm old. And any kind of vents that can lead into the attic, we're going to put wire cloth inside. Does not affect the function of the vent, but it does preclude an animal from being able to go through and pop into your attic. So we're very diligent about making sure everything is covered because you don't want us to come back. We don't want to come back. We're going to get the animals out, and you're off and running on your merry way with the 15-month.
Okay, Lee, so now I'm convinced I'm going to hire you to come out to my house because we've looked at it and it obviously needs some help, but...
And I'm going to make your husband do it himself.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. But really, I want you to be able to tell everybody about your business because the reason I called you specifically to come out here was because you were highly recommended by my colleagues, and I've also used you in my business to refer to clients. And I've been extremely happy with your business, but I'd like you to share about your business and what makes you special.
Okay. And we are out here a bunch in shirts, and it's unfortunate I'm pretty much in every neighborhood in town. There's something going on all the time in San Antonio. Again, scientifically, I can't tell you why, but there's not really a neighborhood that we haven't been in. It's kind of strange. I was 25 years in advertising, and we're born and raised San Antonio, and I built this company from scratch. But we did spend 3 years up in Austin. My wife works for the State Bar of Texas. She's an ethics attorney. So we were stuck in Austin for 3 years, and I say stuck in Austin. It's very nice after 5 p.m. but daytime, it's no fun for the business community. So in the meantime, I helped a company by doing all their marketing. I helped a company in this category of business up there that was about to go under, and got them back on his feet, and now they're doing very well up there and learned this business from the ground up. In the meantime, advertising, the whole industry changed very much, obviously, from the days when there was no internet and
Right.
no cable and all that type of stuff, because I'm like 87 years old. So I said, honey, I want to go back and do this in San Antonio. I've enjoyed it a whole bunch, and it's a lot of fun. And I guess having a background in advertising where all you're trying to do is help people make sure whatever you do works kind of translated to this business for me. So we've gotten such a great reputation because we don't stop until we solve the problem. And unfortunately, we are a little bit more expensive because we're doing, as we saw outside, there's certain things I have to do to protect your home that aren't a current problem, but they're going to be. I know where the animal's going to go next to go back in. So we're doing preventive as well as current to make sure that as we give you a 15-month guarantee, nothing else is getting back in, you won't have to worry about it again. We've already touched up those places. And unfortunately, a lot of companies don't do it that way. And whether that turns you into a recurring customer or not, it's just not the right way to do business in my mind. So, so as a business, our goal is we're pretty perfect now. Our goal is to make sure we solve the problem for you. We give you a 15-month guarantee, and we offer extended warranties to people after that 15 months for $30 or $40 a month. And I tell half the people don't buy it because you won't ever need it, just depending on the age of the home and the structure of the home. And our goal is just to make sure we're not leaving until we've solved this for you. So,
well, and that's what I appreciated about you. And when we had first met and I found out about your extended warranty, I didn't understand. I thought it was great. I mean, any kind of warranty is great. But until you educated me about why, besides just wanting to stand by your work, it was a matter of some of the animals you mentioned, they will have babies and then the babies will come back. And then you have a problem again.
The raccoon is the reason I went to 15 months, and some people do 12, not very many, and some people do 6. Many people just warranty the work they do and not warranty the entire home like we do in case we miss something or we didn't miss it, but if a new hole is created, we're going to come back and take care of you. And then again, more specifically in your case, when we first met and you hired me on behalf of one of your clients, or your client hired me with your referral, they needed to get that house taken care of because they were selling it, and that our warranty is conveyable to the next homeowner. So that kind of protected them in case anything came up in the inspection report or whatever. Now you've got this sheet of paper that says, I've taken care of it, it's guaranteed for 15 months. And Mr. New Buyer, this is now your 15-month warranty or whatever remains.
I love that. From the perspective of the realtor, that is extremely important.
Warranties, yes.
Yeah, you don't want any worry or concern, because if you're buying a home and you see rats or bats, in the case, in our case, you don't, it brings a little bit of fear to the next home, but if you have that lengthy warranty, it really does give some peace of mind. So I appreciate that about you.
And I guess real quick, I kind of misdirected myself on my answer to you. So the 15 months is because raccoons are very seasonal.
Okay.
And raccoons use your attic as a maternity ward. And then as you alluded to, whether it's the mom coming back the next year to have more babies, or the kids going back because it's now getting cold outside, I don't know where to go, and I got separated from mom, this has become their base.
Sure.
And they won't come back the next year. And to give a 12-month warranty and the mom comes back in 13 months wasn't fair, so I just went to 15 months just to make sure everything is covered for everybody.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lee. That was really helpful. I hope y'all gained some information, and I will be putting Lee's contact information as well as my own at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.